Now, at this point in atomic structure history, the atom has changed into two um, different ideas so far. One was the Dalton theory of an atom, which was just a sphere. And then years later, we had Thomson's plum pudding model, which was a positively charged sphere with the negatively charged electrons beaded throughout. So now what we're going to look at is why the plum pudding model is not considered to be valid anymore, and that is because of Ernest Rutherford. Now, this is Rutherford's experiment. What he did was he took gold foil, so just imagine aluminum foil but made of gold, and he shot a source of alpha particles. Now, alpha particles are positively charged particles. Okay, so he pretty much made a beam of just positive charges. Okay, just a beam of positive charges, and he shot it into this gold foil. Now, the um, if the positive charges were to come in contact with this atom, okay, because of the overall neutral feeling of this particular atom, the the positive beams should just pass right through it. Okay. Now, keep in mind we're still considering that the atom or any matter for that instance is mostly empty space. So there was a couple things going into that. One, into this idea that everything should pass right through the aluminum through the gold foil. So one would be that we consider that it's mostly empty space, and then we also have that because of how the plum pudding model is built, the electrons or the positive charges should, just as they come in, they may waver a little bit, but they should just continue to pass right through. According to the plum pudding model, there should be no reason why a positively charged beam should be deflected in any way. So obviously, he was very surprised to find that some of those positively charged particles did, in fact, bounce back. And as we can see, he was able to determine that they were bounced back because he had some photographic screen that went around that would react with any alpha particle once it was made contact with the screen, and it would leave a mark. Okay, so as he wrapped the aluminum foil, the gold foil, and pretty much made like a little circle around the foil, and then he shot the alpha particles into the foil, and as you can see, okay, some of it ended up coming back and hitting the screen at various locations. Now, according to poor color choice, okay, according to the plum pudding model, that shouldn't have happened. Everything should have just passed right through, which means there must be something in an atom that is positively charged and very dense to cause an alpha particle to bounce back. And because of that, okay, what he saw was there must be something in the middle of those atoms that are causing the positively charged alpha particles to bounce away or be deflected back, or even some being shot off at random angles. Okay, as he thought, most of them just continued on the way through. Okay, because the idea that atoms are mostly empty space was held true. As you can see, the thickness of this red line right here is indicating that a majority of those alpha particles did just pass right through. But as you can tell, some were deflected. Okay, so that one right there was deflected. Okay, which would indicate these guys right here. Okay, and then actually some were reflected back. Okay, which in many cases was inconceivable because he thought that they should all pass through. I believe I heard a story where he once described it as like shooting a bullet at a piece of tissue paper and have it come back at you. He was not expecting this at all. So from this idea that there must be something in those atoms that must be very, very positively charged to cause those alpha particles to do what they did. And in fact, that's where we get the idea of a nucleus. Before Rutherford, there was no idea of a nuclear atom. Okay, so now, okay, the model of an atom after Rutherford is we have a small, dense nucleus which has a positive charge, and then we have these electrons which are negatively charged. Okay, so we still have the cancellation of the two charges, which still makes the atoms neutral. And now we have this electron, these electrons just kind of they almost flip places. So we'd have, before in the plum pudding model, we'd have a sphere with a negatively charged sphere, or positive charged sphere, with negative electrons throughout. Now those negative electrons are still there, but all of the positive charges are in this dense nucleus towards the center of the nucleus, or of the atom. Okay? So that would be Rutherford's gold foil experiment that led to the nuclear atom theory.